Hello and welcome to another video, here on Games and Tea. In this, the second episode of the series, we'll be having a more detailed look at the map, do a bit of theory crafting around how we want the city to develop in the next couple of episodes, and start zoning some key areas. You'll also be pleased to hear I've reduced the in-game sounds, apologise for them being quite so loud. Hopefully this time you won't be deafened by the road clacking, the building thud, and most of all, the demolish sound effect. So grab your beverage of choice and strap in. Let's go. Right, so after that, we're back into our city, currently called Lakedale. Definitely needs a better name. Open to suggestions if anybody wants to make some down in the comments. Very much appreciate those. The first thing we're going to do this episode is scout out some potential locations for a dam. So I've noticed we've got some quite high, steep riverbeds here. It seems to flow quite quickly. Looking at the water, you can see the big, strong arrows here. Fairly narrow channels, suggesting we've got some good flow, which are fantastic. That's fairly steep, but I feel like we would flood this sort of starting area here, and also the area that we sort of discussed on the left hand side there, that's potentially going to be a nice officey, commercially area. There's some very steep here. This would be fantastic for a dam, but again I think we're probably going to back this up. This little weir here, yes, we're here, this weir really is actually creating quite a lot of turbulent flow. You can see it's pushing quite a lot. But that's fantastic on here. Yeah, so there's some big strong arrows there. Same problem, very high here. Let's have a look at this top option here. Yeah, that's not bad. I think we could flood this quite easily, but I think we're in danger then of flooding the highway. It's not that steep. The water is strong current, but not great. This area, again, it's not bad, and when we get to sort of a decent level of distance, and this is flowing quite quickly for Cities Skylines water anyway, that's not a bad shout. Once we unlock the dam, which I think we do at 8,500, okay, so not too far off, but 8,500 there. Once we do unlock the dam, we can come and have a look, but that's a definite possible option. This one I do like the look of. Ah yes, this is fantastic. You can see the really steep sides here, and it almost looks as though it's been designed to have a dam here. Yes, this is beautiful. I think maybe just in here, or just on this as it drops down. What's the flow? Oh yes, this is it. This is where we're going to stick our dam, right in here. Okay, so pivoting back to the main area. You can hear those pinging in the background. I'm not sure if you can. I think I may have disabled the in-game sounds after the rather deafening ones that I certainly observed in the edit last time. That somebody levelling up over there, that's fantastic. What services do we have over here? Healthcare is okay at this end. We could probably do with another one over here. No one's really unwell yet, so we'll leave that for a bit. So we're going to put another primary school at this end. We'll sort this four-way junction out later on. We don't want those. So the high school, secondary school, depends which side of the pond you are, I suppose. We're going to put that actually in here. I'm going to demolish a bit of that, put that on what is effectively going to be a main road. Talking of the roads, we are now going to take a fairly aggressive approach to upgrading the roads here. As you can see, everybody's been making do with dirt roads. It's quite slow. Once we've upgraded everything, we'll come back and we'll sort this little abomination of a four-way junction out right here. So I'll be back with you in a moment. decent little upgrade of the roads there. This residential commercial area is looking a bit better. Don't know if you can hear that, but there's a few upgrades going on in the background. It's actually a requirement for a cemetery. I forgot that. Just see somebody dying over there. Unfortunate for them. I'm just going to put this. So we get a lot bigger range with some of these buildings now. What am I going to have in this middle? So we need to leave space here for some sort of on-off junction ramps. So I'm not going to build it here. I don't want to build it right down the end of the city. I could do. It's not too bad actually. If I could put it here, I think that would be a real benefit. I'm going to put it just... I don't want to get rid of... let's put it there. And everybody is happy about that cemetery. And why shouldn't they be? You can see we've got some need for residential down here, so I'm just going to add a few additional residential spaces. I'm going to try and put that in here, and I'll be back with you in a second. Let's just see what we get growing up here. Anything nice? So I've had a lot of people moving in. Realised we need some water. That's probably why they're not moving in much more. I think we can actually start coming off of here. Yeah, that's not bad. We're going to come all the way down there. Hopefully that'll sort those people out. Plenty of water availability, plenty of electricity availability. I do actually need some more money, that is. So we're just going to skip along a little bit and I'll be back with you shortly. Yeah, so there's one thing that I've noticed that I haven't done yet, and that is set up the junction restrictions. Sorry, apologies. Is it junction restrictions? No, it's not junction restrictions. Lane connectors. So this is the one where you control click. So hold the control button and left click, and you get your dedicated turning lanes. So at the moment you can see here we've got this four-way junction into the two-way gravel road, which we're going to be upgrading soon. So there is effectively one direction for each of these two lanes coming here. One goes straight and this one should go right, this one should go straight and this one should go left. Control, click, and you see those arrows, they both change there. Fantastic. So I'm going to go around and do that in pretty much everywhere in the city, and I'll be back with you shortly. Okay, so as we come back in here, you can see one of the reasons I don't like four-way junctions. Although we've got what I would term enough lanes for a fairly small residential commercial area, we don't get those dedicated turning lanes when we control left click here. That's because there's three directions for every way to go, and I don't really want potentially 6 lane roads heading through here. Yes, this will get busy as we carry on the game. This little road here will become a trunk road, an arterial road. We'll have a bit more of a chat about those different types of roads and some road hierarchy later. But for now, I'm just going to stick a quick roundabout in here. Okay, so we've got that one in. Just need to make sure no one builds on this roundabout here. We do not want building on the roundabout, and we certainly do not condone it. So I'm just going to remove some people from that area. Need to set this back up again in a second as well. Get rid of that, and those people can build back in there. Is this person... He got the last laugh there, didn't he? He got the last laugh. Just put that one back in ourselves. There we go. He got the last laugh. Well done, sir. Something I'm going to preempt is the issue that may exist with this as we carry on and this gets a lot busier, and that's going to be the fact that we really need to have a pedestrian walking bridge here. People in Lakedale do not care about zebra crossings. There's no such thing as a pedestrian crossing. Cars rule the day and people walk out into the middle of the road. So what we're going to do is just sort that out. Before we move away from this area, we do have this here where we've got 2 lanes turning off. So going on here, I'm just going to set up our roundabout properly. So again, in Traffic Manager, we take the priority signs, Control, Shift, and you can see it turns blue. Selects the entire roundabout, left click there, and we get this lane coming off. These 2 lanes going straight, and a dedicated lane on each of these for going off. Something that I like to see in my cities when I'm building roundabouts is that we have an additional lane on the roundabout to what we have coming in and going out. So by that I mean we've got 2 lanes coming in here, so 2 lanes of traffic, and then 3 lanes of roundabout. If we had 3 lanes, so if these were 6-lane roads, so 3 and 3, 3 each way, and these were 6-lane roads, I would put a 4-lane one-way around here, just to really increase that flow of traffic, and we'll see that later. So hopefully what we've done here will really help us later into the game. Okay, so next thing we're going to be doing is looking at flattening this land a little bit. So we talked earlier on, in the first episode actually, about how we were going to try and put a nice highway through here. I'm sure you can see that. This is extremely hilly. This massive brow of a hill here. And I'm just going to flatten it down a little bit using the landscaping tools. So I'll have a little go at that. I'm not going to be too aggressive with it. Potentially, I'm going to try and use the soften terrain tool first, just to see if we can smooth it out a little bit. If not, I'll just go for a single level and try and make it reasonable, not too absurd, but just make it a bit better to build on. We're back. Took a little bit longer than I was hoping, but I think we managed to do a decent job of smoothing it out. There's a few bumps and lumps over this side. It looks a little more pronounced, but we've actually decreased this and leveled it out a fair amount. So I'm going to go ahead now and look at extending this bridge. I think we can smooth that out a bit. It's quite a dip down there. There we go, that looks a lot better. Ignore the land, that doesn't quite look as good. We're just going to soften that a little now. We've lifted it quite a lot. Just going to soften at the edges, so I'll be back with you shortly. Yep, okay, I'm happy with that one. I think we've a little bit wiggle here, but makes it a bit unfortunate. I could adjust this a bit more, make it more a curve, but I think we spent enough time on that. Enough time on that for now. Just going to get the game going there again. We've had it pause for a little while. We need to build some money back up. That was relatively expensive. So the next thing we're going to be looking to do is, oh my word, we've got some trucks coming. Oh yes, of course, we've stopped anybody coming in and out of our city. That, if you said that and you noticed that, congratulations, I completely missed it and am an absolute idiot. So I'm just going to sort that out right now, I think. One thing we're going to do before we sort that out, as I was thinking, is just brace this roundabout so that we're not going to be going in at the nodes. So to brace the roundabout, if you're not familiar with that, in Cities Skylines, if you don't connect to a node, so that's these circle areas here, if you don't connect to one of those with the road, you can sometimes get a bit of an awkward shape happening. So we're just going to brace the roundabout, which is what it's called, when you connect node to node and node in here. That should be enough. We're going to be connecting to this side and to this side over here. I'm just going to take the Move It tool, shift click on each of these nodes so that we can select them all, pick the height that I want, which in this case is the middle, Control H, and the node turns white. Click on that and sorts it all out. We do have this little slope here. I'm not too worried about that at the moment. I call that a feature. We've got the first bit here done. We've left this as one lane going off. We've taken this 2-lane, it's gone from 3. We could probably upgrade this to 3, which I'm just going to do now. I think that's quite good, and I'll explain why in a second. So what we've got here now is we've got an instance where we have 3 lanes going into 2 lanes carrying on and 1 lane off. So what that allows us to do is go into Traffic Manager. Usually the game will know, and it has, that's fantastic. So the game has done what we wanted it to do. By default, it's now seen that there's 3 lanes going into 3 rather than 2 lanes into 3. So what it's done is it's assigned a lane by default. So this lane goes straight, this lane is straight, and this lane is dedicated for turning off. Now it's not quite that smart on the way in because there are no lane errors here. So when we know this is going to get a bit busier, what we're going to do is select the lane connector tool. That's this one here. Left click in the node, and you can see we've got these options to connect. Now this forces the cars into each lane. And again, what you'll notice is we've got 1, 2 and 3 lanes going forward, and then 1, 2 and 3 lanes out. So as we left click into the node, we can use the Control and S, which is what it says here, to force traffic to stay in its lane. So we'll Control S, and you get those lane connector tools going straight through. Fantastic. Yeah, we did disconnect the power here. People have just restored that and they're a bit happier again. Great. We do have a need for residential, a need for industry. So what I'm going to do, just expand the industry a little bit over to this side. I do not want to come into here just yet. I'm going to leave this fairly clear for now. So I am actually going to upgrade these roads. Later on, this is going to become a fairly agricultural area. If we look at the natural resources, as we said in the first episode, this is sort of a yellowy area, which means it does have fertile land. So this is fairly good. I forgot to remove these roads in the middle, and this absolute nutter and this nutter have decided they're just going to drive straight through the roundabout. Taking liberties, these citizens, and look at them all, look at them go, no. Oh, it's a flying car, it's a flying tractor and a flying truck. I have no idea where they're going now. They're probably going to have a long journey back into the city. Just reset that roundabout up again. So Control Shift and left click. And we get a dedicated turning lane back and the 2 straight on. Just upgraded that to 3 lanes. This is going to be the main area into our industry here. And probably sort of this area, anything we stick here. I'm going to put one more junction in here. I'm not going to do that today, that's for another episode. But just going to get on, put a bit more residential space in. We've been a little bit slower than usual in bringing people in here. We seem to have very quickly reduced that lead for residential. Been a huge amount of levelling up in the background in these areas now that we've upgraded these roads and added the additional services. Still a few people moving in here, just get that going now, but we have a massive need for industry or offices. Obviously can't put offices in just yet. The last thing I'm going to do today is just put some dedicated turning lanes in. We did a little bit of expanding today. We built this area just up here. Our citizens moved in a little bit of residential here. Some commercial here. We mostly did levelling up of our city, so although we didn't expand and sprawl much today, we did do a lot of preparation for the future. Improved the roads on this side of the city. Well, that about wraps things up for today. We covered a lot of ground in this episode and put some really good foundations in place. The elevated road through the city will really help to enable better traffic flow as the city expands, and we've even treated our citizens some road upgrades around the city as a whole. A huge thank you if you've made it this far. Don't forget to hit that like button, and maybe even subscribe if you enjoyed the episode. You've been watching Games and Tea. I'm off to pop the kettle on. Stay safe everybody. Goodbye.